a man who has won many awards, an elder in the church. He has so much pedigree within the maritime space as a journalist and as a stakeholder. He's Elder Asubex. Elder, welcome to the program, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. My name is Dili Utomi, and this is the Maritime and Border Show. Sir, we are here to talk about all things within the maritime sector. First and foremost, there are certain things in the news this week about the call for Nigeria's removal from the war risk, insurance, by the authorities. It's been in the news for quite some time. And can you tell us a little bit about this, sir? It's in the news.
Yes, incidentally, I was at that workshop, or if you like, call it a conference, at the 4 Points by Sheraton, organized by the Maritime Reporters Association, for stakeholders to come together and brainstorm on the continued retention of Nigeria as that war risk. In fact, I don't know if there's even any war now at the moment. And so this is perhaps one of those funny policies put together or imposed in Nigeria by some Western countries who continue to see this country as a threat because of our huge potentials, not only in oil and gas, but also in the maritime sector. And if you were there on that day, in fact, one former DG of NIMASA who spoke and got a standing ovation from participants at that workshop was Prince Temi Omasheye.
Okay.
And his presentation drew a standing ovation because of the information that he made available.
Okay.
Because as we speak, there's even no need for that tax, for which we have lost close to about $1.5 billion dollars in the last couple of years. Also, these are some of these things that these Western nations they put, because Africa, whether you like it or not, is an emerging market in the global community because of vast resources, both in terms of oil and gas, agriculture, of course, and maritime. And so these are the things that, but I'm happy that the minister, even though he wasn't physically present, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, he wasn't physically present because of other official engagements, but he had one of our own, Bolaji Akiola, who of course is a special advisor on media, to represent him. And from the speech presented by the minister to that from the Nigerian Shippers Council, they were all passionate, they were all desirous of the need to remove that burden, because at the end of the day, whatever cost you transfer to the importer or the shipper ends with
as a burden to the consumer.
Yes, and
and of course it robs us of the necessary revenue.
Yes.
We're talking about well, that's something in the news over the week. The removal of Nigeria from the war risk insurance. Sir, please, could you elaborate a little bit for the benefit of the listeners what war risk insurance means?
Yeah, I think let me put in the layman's definition. Means that That war risk insurance means that we
At what?
are at war, and that for any vessel that is coming to Nigeria, bringing its cargo, is taking a risk.
Okay.
Whereas we are not at war. Nigeria is not Sudan. We are not Israel. We are not Ukraine. In fact, those are the countries that they should be even talking about war risk. And so for somebody to wake up, a group of countries, or to wake up and say, look, if you look at the statistics in the last couple of years, you will see that there has been relative peace in the Gulf of Guinea. In fact, just 2 days ago, there was an attempt, a piracy attempt. And the NIMASA, Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, and with the Coast Guard, that is the Nigerian Navy, they went immediately to avert whatever would have been another catastrophic incident in the Gulf of Guinea. And so we are not at war, and there's no risk for any vessel that is coming to Nigeria. And so it's something that should take the immediate attention of Mr. President. This should not just be left for the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, should not be left for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We should immediately address this matter so that the cost of transportation of goods to Nigeria should be at the barest minimum, like other countries.
Yes, sir. Again, in the news during the weekend, also the MPA was making a affirmation of their commitment towards the maritime sector in terms of the development of the ports and growing the economy within the sector. I guess you were also probably at a seminar, a place where they were talking about this. What do you think about MPA's speech about their commitment to?
No, I'm sure maybe you are referring to what the managing director talked about. The East, because for some time now there has been this claim that there is a deliberate attempt to neglect the Eastern ports. And so I think that was what the management or the managing director of MPA was trying to clarify, that there's certainly no discrimination, because the monies that have been made available for infrastructural upgrade of the ports are going to be spread evenly within the eastern and western ports, and so that the NPA remains committed to ensuring that we have a sizable chunk of cargo traffic to the east. Okay. And this is where at times I also get worried. I'd engaged the MD on 1 or 2 occasions on this issue of remember it was during the tenure of the former MD Isabella Usman. The issue of general managers for the east and west were scrapped, and I still did not buy the idea of scrapping of east and west. You see, right now, for everything that you want to do in the eastern ports, you have to revert to Marina. And so if we have a situation where there's some level of decentralization, there's a GM for East, there's a GM for West, you will see that healthy competition. And so it's like we have in other agencies, in the customs, we have it, immigration, we have it, police has several zones. So what I'm saying here is that now if we had, for instance, a GM for the Eastern Zone, that GM would be the chief marketing officer for the MPA in that zone. That GM would be the one that will engage traders in Aba, would be the one that will engage traders in Onitsha to say, look, there's business. Why do you have to bring your cargo to Lagos when you have Port Harcourt, when you have Calabar, when you have Warri Port, when you have Port Harcourt Port? So if you are bringing your cargo, these are the kind of incentives that you will get. And so once you begin to do that, and then combine with the GM also will also make sure that it has a fantastic rapport with the security agencies in the east, like the naval authorities in Warri, Calabar, Port Harcourt, and even in Bayelsa. So in that manner, you will see a situation where there will be a healthy competition. And once that happens, you begin to see that there is confidence on the part of those importers who will come to Lagos and pick their cargo and move by road. Of course, you know what it takes to move your truck from Lagos to the east. We are not talking about even the security implications there and the cost implications. So these are the things that I think that I've engaged in several occasions. That is the MD of MP to say, look, please, why don't have a rethink about this issue of scrapping of the GM, zonal GMs. And so once we do that, you begin to see that these ports will begin to pick up, because I am from Bayelsa, and I think that the talk out there is that there's a deliberate attempt to frustrate the eastern ports in favor of the western ports. And so that is why you see the Lagos ports, they are busy. Now we have a Tinkan port, we have a Papa port, we have Lekki, and then we have Badagry that is under construction. Of course, I'm sure you are aware that Dangote is also going to build another seaport, which he says is going to be the biggest in the region in Ogun State. And so the fear of people from my region is that there's so much attention given to the ports in the west.
Thank you so very much. We are talking with Elder Asubex, a maritime journalist and a man with many decades of experience within the maritime sector. So, topic for today on this program is, of course, it centers on realizing the potentials within the maritime sector, and we are looking at. These are just the preambles. We've been talking about the news that made it around in the course of the week. Well, a major focus for today is on realizing the potentials of the maritime sector. We are looking at the things that form hurdles, the things that militate against us realizing the potentials in this over 90 trillion naira worth of sector, the maritime sector. And so in a moment we shall come back to the program. Let's reel out the numbers of that you need to call in today, because it's an audience participatory program. We have 0707 070 090 390 3903. Again, 070 090 390 3903. We also have 081 7175 6368. 081 7175 6368. Again, we also have 0803 6929 933. 080 36 92 9933. My co-host is here. Please introduce yourself.
All right. Good afternoon, listeners. This is VOP 90.3 FM, and this is the Maritime and Border Show. My name is Prince Chilaka. You're very much welcome to today's program. Let me even start by telling our audience that, as promised, we started discussions with the Shippers Council. They've reached out, and we're hoping that as soon as possible they will be on the show to clear some of the issues that were raised last week, which has created a lot of ripples. So be rest assured that the Shippers Council will be here to look at it. I also hear that there's going to be a reshufflement in the Nigerian Customs in terms of the management team. Quite a number of officers are being redeployed. Some are being retired. As we continue, we'll be able to give out names of those who would be affected. So, as we know, this show we try to talk as much as possible about the Nigerian customs, the maritime industry. We talk about NIMASA, we talk about NPA, and we talk about NAGAF and all the other associations that are involved in promoting the sector. As we know, the national president of NAGAF is still appealing to agents and importers to be patient with the BOW system. Even though there are a lot of hitches here and there, people have been complaining a lot. We're asking people to please exercise patience. If your goods are stuck, if you're finding it difficult to capture your goods, please just be patient with them. I also, I'm well informed that meetings have been held with shipping lines and terminal owners, asking them to, suffer, as the Nigerians will say.
That's on the question of demurrage.
Demurrage, yes.
Okay.
And I believe that it's going to be effective, because I know quite a lot of them have been on it. On behalf of VOP, the entire management of VOP, would like to congratulate Dr. Abubakar Dashoho on his election as the Vice President of International Association of
As the MD of the Nigerian Ports Authority.
Yes, for us here, we believe that this election is a great honor, not just for him personally, but for Nigeria as a whole. And we believe that Nigeria would work if we all put our hearts together. During the week also, we heard that there was an attack foiled by Nimasa, a pirate attack. Foiled by Nimasa in the Gulf of Guinea. Yes. We're happy that Nimasa came to their aid. We believe that if given the relevant support, Nimasa can do more. But at the same time, people are still appealing that we need to have our own vessels, built vessels. So we're appealing to Nimasa, we're appealing to the Shippers Council, we're appealing to everybody that is involved. So
that's where the issue of the CVFF, the Cabotage Vehicle Finance Fund, comes in.
So we're appealing to everybody that is in that space to see how we can be proud to say, oh, that is a Nigerian vessel built and managed by Nigerians. And on a more friendly note, last week also we saw the president through the minister announcing through the minister and the Nigerian Immigration Service announced that there's an increase in the cost of passport. And people are asking, how can passport be increased at this time when the minimum wage is 70,000? So it means that
and some states have not started the implementation.
No, some have not, and some say they're paying 104,000.
Yeah.
But the thing is this: when you increase a passport that ordinarily Nigerians should get, at birth, so to say, and now you're putting the 100,000 and 200,000, and somebody's earning 70,000, and out of that 70,000, you're expected to pay your house rent, feed your family, fuel your car, run your generator. So it means that if I'm earning 70,000 a month and I want to get a passport, I'll probably save for 1 year to be able to get a passport. I think the government should look into this. Things are really hard for Nigerians right now. So adding more burden to it is like the government doesn't really care, and people are not happy about it. I heard you guys talking about the Shippers Council demands review of war risk insurance on Nigerian born vessels. Some of these tags, they're just there just to, the foreign nationals, they have a way of putting their knee on the neck of the African nations. They don't want you to come up. So, but I believe that we will be able to do something about it. And something terrible happened in Abuja during the week. A woman lost her two twins after she was seen trekking in labor over inability to pay 28,000 delivery fee. I mean, that touched my heart.
That's a human angle. That's a disheartening one.
It was sad, and somebody who saw her walking was trying to help her put her in a cab, and she told the person, give me the money of that cab, I need to add up money to be able to go and deliver. So it simply shows you how things really are, what Nigerians are really going through. And I find it sad that the government keeps pretending that all is well. All is not well. Nigerians are going through a lot, and we expect that something should be done about it. So this is the Maritime and Border Show, and we're still on with our guests.
He's
erudite
Journalists.
I mean, if you see the way he's dressed, for those of you on our social media handles, especially our YouTube, go and look at him. You'll see the way he's dressed. You know that yes, this is the likes of the 1920s, 1930s British trained journalist, and he's talking to us about the sector. This is the maritime sector is a sector that is sitting on a lot trillion of naira, and we're asking, why are we not benefiting? Why is the country not making so much money? I believe that if we focus more on the maritime sector, we will generate more revenue than we're generating from the oil sector. But what is going on? So that's why our guest is going to be, educating us. We're going to be looking at every aspect of it, and also how this government and the states, the local government, the federal government, how everybody can come together and benefit from the.
Yeah, we calls are coming in, and we'll start taking calls a few moments from now. But we have Elder Asubex here. Elder, could you, in summary, tell us what are the reasons why we cannot really maximize the potentials within the maritime sector?
Square pegs in round holes all over. Square pegs in round holes. And I've had one or two occasions to talk with the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy to say, why can't we professionalize this industry? This should not be an all-commerce affair. And apart from that, apart from this issue of high turnover, there's also, professionalism, there's also a high turnover.
Okay.
Before you know it, 6 months, 1 year, there's a change. A new CEO in MPA, there's a new CEO in Shippers Council, there's a change in the master and all that. It is not good for this industry. I know, for instance, in the Federal Ministry of Justice, let's say in that arm of government, only professionals are allowed, majority. But if I'm telling you, if you go to, for instance, the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, I doubt if we have up to 10-15% of professionals occupying. And then the civil service rule, of course, says that at a point, after a year or two, you'll be moved to another ministry, because the civil service regulation does not allow you to just start in one ministry and then. But I said, look, this should be a special case for the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. I am aware that the policy framework for the new ministry has been unveiled, but I am not sure that the public is aware of that document, because I understand that there's going to be a public presentation. And so if we have that presentation, I'm sure it will give us an ample opportunity to critique some of these things that are there, because once we don't professionalize, then we are in trouble. We are in trouble. We are in serious trouble. For instance, when this new minister came, I was one of those who said, Mr. President, you have done so well. You gave us this ministry that we have been looking for, specialized ministry since independence. But you didn't do well by giving us a politician, somebody who I understand that his background is in insurance. But along the line, because some of us wouldn't keep our mouth shut, we were talking and talking, then we now seen the minister moving at a direction that even me, I cannot even explain. Because in just 2 years, what he is about to achieve. We had a minister for transportation in Rotimi Amechi who was around for 8 years. All he was doing was abusing ship owners, abusing maritime journalists and other stakeholders. But we've seen a way, for instance now, Nigeria is likely, very likely, to get back into category C of the IMF Council. when that election takes place between November and December this year. And that is one issue that has been bedeviling this sector. We have made about 3 or 4 attempts in the past without, but the commitment I've seen in this minister. That's one. Then you go to this issue of the CVFF, which we mentioned earlier, the Capital Venture Financing Fund. Last week there was also a statement from Mr. President. He gave the minister gave August as a timeline for disbursement. Today is the last day of August.
Yeah.
So, and I want to believe that the problem will not be with NIMASA or the ministry. It must be at the doorsteps of the ship owners, because if the ship owners do not put their acts together, because the government has said the money is available, even though they have not told us how much is available.
Yeah.
They have told us the money is available. So all that the ship owners need to do is to put their acts together. Putting their acts together means bringing their own percent. That's a 15%. 15%, if you look at it now, is about $4 million or thereabout, which is about 6 billion. I don't know how many Nigerian ship owners will be able to.
Yeah, just hold your thought there.
Yeah.
Hold your thought. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks back. We had
A guest
who is also into the industry very well, and he said something. He said the Nigerian banks are not willing
to give loans
to those who want to, build ships and who wants
to acquire ships. Yeah.
He said the Nigerian banks are not ready and they're not willing, and that this fund we're talking about, the federal government has always been saying the fund is there, but that the federal government has not initiated in any way the move to say, okay, we're disbursing, but they keep telling you next month. So what do you really think is the problem?
I think I still want to put the problem at the desktops of the ship owners, because one, I'm aware that 12 primary lending institutions were selected by government, and those ones are known to all of us here. Then now the NIMASA went a step further to negotiate with these lending institutions on the rate of lending. Understand that they were able to secure a 1-digit interest, so which means maximum can just be 9%, which of course you know what the rates are in the banking sector. For you to get any loan, it can't be anything less than between 25 and 30%. And so all these are concessions that the government has made. And then government also went a step further to say, okay, you ship owners bring 15%, the banks will bring 35%, NIMASA will bring 50%. So that is what makes the 100%. But there are some ship owners also saying, or stakeholders are saying, come, what are you even asking? Because once you get the banks involved, if this money is there, if this money is available, then why are you asking the banks also? The banks should also, the banks for me should be able to play the middle role.
Yeah.
Yes, to secure,
guarantors.
yes, to secure the money and make sure whoever gets a dime pays back. But when you now say the bank should bring 35%, and you know what our banks are, they want quick turnover. No bank is ready to put his money where he will say, in the next 8-10 years, for you to get to. So that is also another problem.
Okay, let me ask you,
yes,
sir. What has held the federal government down? I mean, before now we used to have Nigerian shipping line.
Nigerian National Shipping Line.
Yeah, we had them that were owned by the government. So why is the government, if ship owners, if individuals are finding it difficult to enter the industry, why has the government not seen the need to invest in it?
You see, the problem we have had is, at a point we have the Nigerian National Shipping Line, which had over 20-something vessels. But we discovered that at that time, instead of having container vessels, all they had was just cargo vessels that were not container. So
they were palletized.
So it made business unprofitable at that time, and so that was where they were sold off. And then we now had what we call.
Please, we have a caller. Please, can we pick this call? Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, children.
So we now have the shipbuilding and acquisition fund, which came to rescue the ship owners. But unfortunately, that money went into wrong house. Some went to build hotels, some went to marry wives and all that. And so this time
the Nigerian factor.
The Nigerian factor.
So hold your breath. We now talk about the Nigerian factor. Those who collected these funds then, have they been prosecuted?
I know that there were a few cases of prosecution, but I can't say for now how those cases ended. But I knew a few people, men of integrity, I think, who made some people like a Captain
coming, sir. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Yeah, this is VOP Radio 90.3 FM.
You can go ahead.
Go on, sir.
Yeah, so I know a few ship owners who were able to pay back their money, the likes of Captain Iana Shaw, that I'm very sure of.
Now, is it the one in Imo State?
No, the one was Captain Iana Shaw was at the point
the Minister for Interior.
Okay.
Genesis Shipping. I think he was running Genesis Shipping. I think he's still there. So, but like we said, Nigerian factor. And so now, one other agency of government that has also been involved in frustrating Nigerian ship owners is the NNPC. Because most of our indigenous ship owners wanted to enjoy from that, largesse of exporting crude.
Okay.
But somehow, I think some previous managements in NIMASA, they don't get their act together, because when certain things happen and you see that, look, we are all federal government agencies, federal parastatals, NIMASA, NNPC. All you needed to take this thing above somebody who is higher, like the president, to say, look, this is what we are trying to achieve. But we are having a stumbling block from NNPC, because people who in that shipping department in NNPC, they were making so much money hiring foreign shipping lines to carry our crude. So if you ask me now, in one of my articles in Sunday Sun, I have a column, Marine and Blue Economy Digest. I'm saying that this thing is coming at the time. How many years since we discovered oil?
To be 70 years next year.
70 years next year. And then we have been allowing foreigners to, you know how much we have lost. So if our ship owners have been engaged in this, you can imagine now, by now they will not be looking for what is 6 billion.
Are you saying that corruption has eaten deep in the system?
Would I say, yeah, corruption. Yes, corruption is part of it, because those people in NNPC who are enjoying from this lucrative business of having to decide which
shipping line
vessel carries our crude abroad, they didn't want to hands off that lucrative business.
But today, the way things are, considering the fact that we are talking about CVFF, is NNPC, do you think that this same NNPC is willing and ready to patronize Nigerians?
It's difficult for me to say yes. So we still have to see a situation where the Nigerian ship owners should engage the NNPC.
All right. Before I came on air, you were talking about, I think you were talking about transportation and movement of goods to the southeast.
The MPA was talking about within the Nigerian.
Okay. Now this is the question I have to you, sir. MPA has been speaking too much grammar, but the question is, why is MPA not seeing the need to invest in rail as a means of transportation?
It's not their responsibility. We have a National Railway Corporation
under the Ministry of Transportation.
Ministry of Transport. So that should definitely not be.
No, what I mean is, considering the fact that you want to open up all the seaports and all the dry ports, don't you think that they should be more interested in a rail system that can actually network the system.
NPA is interested, but that should not be. Don't forget that the ports we're talking about, they have also been concessioned. So that should not be the responsibility of Nigerian ports when we have a National Railway Corporation. That is the NRC. Nigerian Railway Corporation is National Railway Corporation. And so they should see that as an opportunity for business. They are in business for business. So that should be the responsibility of
the Nigerian Railway Corporation.
In partnership
Good.
with the Nigerian Port Authority.
Now, has the Nigerian Port Authorities, because they are the final beneficiaries.
I'm aware of several engagements, even Nigerian Shippers Council. There have been several engagements to make that work.
There's been a whole lot of talk about multimodal system.
And then it brings us back to corruption.
No, I think it's a political will. I wouldn't say it's corruption. I think it's the lack of the political will.
Political will from the federal government.
From the federal government.
So, in other words, what people are saying.
We heard about the incident last week between Abuja and Kaduna.
The train that derailed.
So you can, when you see this, look at the picture of that train. I'm sure these were some of those,
refurbished.
Imported by the former Minister of Transport. Amechi, who made so much noise about rail, that he has done so much. He did so much by moving the rail to Mardi. All he did was to import carcass.
Refurbished trains.
If you even say refurbished, you are even patronizing. Yes, it's carcass. Those are not things that you will see that should be in the museum that they brought for Nigerians, because we take everything.
All right, let's digress. Let's come to customs.
Can we also read out the phone?
All right, our numbers are 0700 903 903 903. This is the line you can reach us. And if you want to send a WhatsApp message,
081 7175 6338.
0803692 9933. This is VOP 90.3 FM, and this is the Maritime and Border Show.
With the little Tommy and
Francis. We're still with our guest,
Elder Asubex.
Good. We're still
Maritime Guru.
We're still trying to see how best we can look at the problems facing this sector, and how best we think when we have people like you speak to Nigerians, so that even the government will listen and begin to find a way out of the quagmire we have found ourselves in the industry. So I put it to you again, sir. Let us bring it to customs. We know that customs has been, battling with a lot of things, such as checkpoints. And people are asking questions. Why is it that you have cleared your goods from the port? Less than 100 meters from clearing your goods, another set of customs will stop you. Sometimes trying to tell you that those in the ports didn't do the right job. Why is all this mix up? How do we address it?
Well, I'd like to go back again to the Nigerian factor, and then the lack of integrity in the way we do business. And in other climes, before your goods arrive, all the necessary documentation has been done in a transparent manner. So you just go pick up your goods and then take to the destination. But it's not so. It's not so, because either due to the collusion between the importers and the clearing agents, in almost several cases, there's wrong declaration of value and quantity, and at times even the actual content of the good, because people want to underpay. And so that's why we are having these challenges. And so that has created the layers of inspection, which is not something that happens in other climes. There's no way you clear your goods, because the custom man that is in the Federal Operations Unit is not different from the one that is at Papa or Tinkan. So how do you move things? And so this is one thing for which we have been talking. And at the end of the day, yes, it is bad that...
Elder sir, can I pick this call, please?
Okay.
Yeah. Hello, good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon, my brother.
Yeah, please, could you introduce yourself and let us know where you're calling me from?
This is Mr. God's Power calling from Amuward of Stack.
All right, please ask your question, Mr. Gospower.
I'm not trying to question. The work that you people are doing is very good. I appreciate.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much.
Yes, and what is happening in all these sectors is corruption. Let us speak on that. Corruption is the issue. If it's our brother that is there, whoever that is that place, let us hammer the nail on the head, please, and save this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Gospower.
Yeah.
Elder, please continue with your thoughts.
Yeah, what were we before the call?
We were talking about
the layers of the layers of inspection. Yes, and say if we, the average importer, because last week, let me digress a bit. I watched the national president of the Association of Nigerian Licensed Custom Agents.
Okay.
Was on Channels Television.
Yes.
And I think it was a right of reply. He was responding to the House Committee chairman on this issue of the increment in licenses and all that.
Yeah.
So he made a point. He said, look, let me be honest. We are only agents to the importers. And most times when these importers, they are bringing these goods, they don't let us know. They only show us documents. We are not there. We don't know what is in a container that is coming. And it's based on what they
declare
that we go and process. So, but we have a situation where in most cases, is the plain agent that is at the receiving end. Almost always, nobody talks about the owner of the good, who is the importer. And so that is also a problem, because most importers, because of the Nigerian factor, will hardly want to
tell
exact
what they have.
Yes, except some of these big-time manufacturing companies, where those ones that even before they come, their goods are.
Sorry, sir, a call is coming in. Hello, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, please, your name and where are you calling in from?
This is Obina calling from Amuward.
Okay, Obina, let us have your thoughts.
Sometimes when people are talking about Nigeria problem, I will be laughing in my mind though. Because I will be wondering what are people talking about, because we don't have a system. Why are we so anxious of the system?
It's the reason why we have programs such as this one you're listening to right now.
You're called.
There's nothing you will talk until we have a foundation. There's no foundation in anything in Nigeria. You are talking about maritime aviation is another problem. You are talking about aviation and transportation is another problem. Then you can't fix anything unless we.
Do you prefer that we keep quiet?
See, let me just tell you what my mind is telling me. What I think is the right way. Unless we have a system, unless we sit down and have a system that is working, every other thing will take place. Why are we gambling around the bush?
The first step towards having that system that works is doing what we are doing right now, speaking against the lack of system that is not in place. When we talk about it, people listen, and then the people in authority do something about it. And that is the essence of this program. Thank you, Mr. Obina.
All right, bye.
Have yourself a lovely day, sir.
You know the funny thing is, I think Nigerians.
I have a question for Elder.
Before you ask him the question, Nigerians, there's this trust deficit.
Serious one.
Everywhere.
Between Nigerians and their leaders. And unfortunately, the leaders don't seem to care. They don't seem to bother. Because every time you have a program like this, you just see people, Nigerians have given up.
They have.
Yeah.
They have. So
a whole lot of time when they call in.
We are appealing to government. We're using this opportunity to appeal to government. Look at what you can do to win the trust of the Nigerian people.
Very important.
So, Elder, I have a question. One more. A call is coming in. Let me pick it, please, first. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. Who are we speaking with, and where are you calling in from?
I called for you from Abubakar.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Emmanuel.
Okay, Mr. Emmanuel, let's have your thoughts.
You see what happened to this custom rent. And the day I was going out from Apapa to Bega side to my two. Are you hearing me?
We are listening. Go on, make your point, sir.
Yes. Then I saw controller back at there. Then bracket it with that bracketing rope that there. I was asking, was this cruise clear from Wharf direct? Why must custom bracket those trailers there?
Yeah, it's sir, Mr. Emmanuel, if you listen to what our guest here has said just about a few minutes ago, it's one of those things he says is pose problem to the proper development of the system. When you have too many multiple layers of checks, the same people who clear the goods are the same people who are on the road trying to check if there's any anomaly within the clearing process again. It's what we're talking about.
Sorry, sir. Is that goods did not clear proper from the wall?
That is what exactly the question we're asking too. So
Okay.
yeah, thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
That's correct, sir. My question is this: you were trying to talk about things that impediments towards realization of economic objectives or financial objectives within the maritime sector. Do you think that interagency, or rather the different
you're talking about interagency rivalry?
Rivalry, yes, interagency rivalry.
It's also the part of the problem.
Yeah.
For instance, now look at this beautiful bill, the Shipping and Ports Economic Regulator Bill, Regulation Bill, that has been in the National Assembly. In fact, it's been passed by both chambers and sent to Mr. President. But from the information I have, because of this same interagency rivalry, there are fears that if that bill is signed by Mr. President, perhaps Nigerian Shippers Council will even take a bigger role than the MPA and the MASA. And so, whether we like it or not, there's a fight back, there's a pushback. And for whatever reasons, I don't know. But I'm aware that when this bill was being put together, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy directed his permanent secretary to meet with the heads of these agencies, that are legal department, to fine-tune the final document which was sent to the National Assembly, so that all these gray areas, suspicion of overlapping functions, they were all addressed. And so I'm still wondering why up to this moment, because the last information I have is that that bill was returned from the presidency back to those who are drafting it to fine-tune. And it's taken for every day this bill is not out there, we are losing money. Because apart from the issue of fine-tuning, now this sector is the only sector that does not have any economic regulator. In the oil and gas, I'm sure you know of the upstream and downstream regulatory agencies.
Sorry, sir. The role of Shippers Council, they are supposed to be the economic regulator within the maritime sector.
Yes, so they are. That is what this bill is all about. But the agencies like MP and MASA, they are afraid that Inewa and all the rest, they are afraid that if this bill is signed, then
the Shippers Council
will be like CBN.
All right,
all this other.
All right, sir. Hold your thoughts.
One more call, please. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me lower my radio.
Okay, please lower your radio.
So, thank you very much. Honestly,
your name, sir, where are you calling in from?
Oh, sorry, my name is Mike. I'm calling from a sort of area of Lagos.
Right, you're welcome, sir.
So, what are my own contribution to all these things is that, you see, let me tell you one thing. When the head is rotten, or when the foundation is wrong, there is nothing you can achieve. I must confess to you. We have had series of challenges in this industry, from 1990 to BOW. At the other time, they said they want to suspend the Air Forces actually introduced by the system, frustrating innocent citizens for no just cause. Like we were saying before, as a result of this inability to assess consignment, the demolition is being accused. People are crying, people are dying. I want to let you know that even one of my clients that hold his job now is in the mortuary. So what are we talking about? The system is faulty, the foundation is faulty, not just custom. Federal Republic of Nigeria. Nigeria is faulty. And we must have to address it. It's already getting out of hand. People are dying, people are suffering. It was never that Nigeria was working. Who told that Nigeria was not working? I came to this Lagos on transfer, and my salary there was just 97 naira, not even 100 naira. I was taking care of myself, my younger ones, and my elder parents, staying for my one room apartment then.
That must be in the 70s and early 80s.
The system is faulty, and it must have to be correct. Not just to stay to custom, client agents, or importation of essential commodities. No. Foundation is faulty and the head is rotten. That's a problem.
Thank you, sir. I'm so sorry for the loss of your friend and your client who died in the process of trying to get his goods out. I'm sorry about that.
I think we need to also educate Nigerians.
God bless you all.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
We need to educate Nigerians why custom decided to change from NICES 2 to Budogu. I would say from reliable source. People who build the NICES 2 were meant to hand it over after building. It was built and transfer. But I heard that along the line they were not willing to do the transfer, and they wanted the customs people to always run to them. So as a result of that, the CG of custom, they now sat down with the management and said, let us build something indigenous to us, something we can own. And that is how the Biodogu came up. And you see, let's give it to the CG Adewale. He's done so well. He's done so well in terms of ensuring that we have a homegrown system. It's not going to be perfect now. It's going to take time. And that is why they're appealing to everyone. And like I said, I know a lot of people, a lot of shipping lines, a lot of terminal owners are in discussion, and a lot of them have started giving waivers as a result of the hitches associated to Biodogu. So we must be, in as much as we want something done, but we must also appreciate something where it is good, and rather than condemn that everything is bad. I take exception to that.
Yeah, this is Voice of the People 90.3 FM, the Maritime and Border Show. We have our guest here, Elder Asubek, who is a maritime journalist. He's the publisher of the flagship maritime journal, Shipping World, and was a pioneer editor of the defunct Concord Group of the Concord Group National. That's a national newspaper.
Pioneer shipping editor of the defunct National Concord.
Okay, all right. And he's a widely traveled man. The president of the Joe Forum. He was president of the Joe Media Forum. In 1990, he was voted the best reporter by the Concord Group of newspapers for supporting an attempt by an Italian vessel to dump a shipload of toxic beef at the Tinkan Island port. Elder Asubek, thank you so very much for coming to our show today. We very much like to have you again. We totally ran out of time, and
before we close, I'd like to say that this is something we're hearing, coupe, that the controller, Babatunde Olomo, that's a CSC of Apapa, is being recommended for elevation to an ACG.
As Assistant Controller of Customs.
Yes, and also the Controller Architect Dania of PTML, Controller Olaniyan currently overseeing the scanning unit, and then Controller Babandede of they all been we hear that also Controller Akeli of the Federal Operations Unit FOU Zone B is set to replace Controller Babandede at One. So there are going to be swift changes, a reshuffling of the management team, reshuffling of some of the area controllers. I also hear that a very good friend of mine, is also being considered for the post of DCG. That's Ohi. Is actually the area zonal controller for Lagos, Papa and all of that. It's also
you mean Obi?
Obi, yes.
Obi, Charles Obi.
Charles, yes. And here is also being.
Well, these names you have called are all people who have made their mark.
Yeah.
In
Yes.
fact, my friend, the one in Apapa, I call him Olomu. I call him a
Papa
money
Tunde.
doubler.
Yes.
I call him.
It's
a
a
money
record
doubler.
breaker.
I say, look, you this money doubler. Because
Yes.
he has shattered every
Every
existing
record, yeah,
in
sure,
terms
sure,
of
sure.
radio generation.
No, it's a very
There's
it's a very
also
hard-working-
Controller Mohammed Ahmad Bello Shoaib, who's been elevated to an ACG. He was a former customs area controller of Diroko.
And then the man in One, oh my God, in terms of anti-smuggling,
yeah.
he has shattered also every existing record. That is Babandele.
So we expect that these changes would help to add a new lease of life.
We just hope that the people who are coming to step into their shoes will keep yes, because
pace.
yes, because I mean we need to keep this tempo.
Yeah, there seems to be a little bit of gulf between the ranks. I mean, people who are coming up to take over from this, there's still a whole lot of people who are in the junior cadre. I don't know whether it's me thinking that way or
No, but this current CJ, I give it to him. I keep saying he's done so well in terms of the promotion of officers of the customs.
Because there was a time that there was a lull in promotion.
Yeah.
And if you are promoting, you should also make sure that you recruit.
Yeah.
And so that was created a lot of problem. I just hope that this caliber of officers that are leaving will have the same, because any moment from now, most of the top hierarchy in custom is top heavy. It is top heavy the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
So we.
That is the point I was trying to make.
Yes,
All
it's top
right,
heavy.
as we're ending up, somebody just sent a very interesting message. It says, "Good afternoon, VOP. Poor man has left bag of rice alone now. It's international passport he can't afford now. People just like to criticize for criticizing's sake. Shame, Emmanuel. Well, the truth of the matter is that when you look at what the cost of getting a passport, you should ask yourself, what do you benefit as a Nigerian? Ordinarily, the passport for a Nigerian should be as cheap as your national identification card. You know, you're not supposed to sweat. And the excuse given by the minister that they want to curb corruption, curb bribery is a no-no for me. You know, I think sometimes our ministers, when you people want to talk to Nigerians, please think through your speeches before you put them out there.
So I was watching the Minister of Education talking on national TV the other day that all those agreements, there was all those agreements between federal government and
It's not as void.
yeah, there was no, they wasn't signed. They were just, I say, oh God.
They were just typed on papers and were not signed.
Yes, and
that's
so,
what he was affirming.
yes.
He was.
But I think I understand that he has even retracted. Because how can you say people went to a meeting and there was no agreement? And the people, they also walked away and there no agreement. So, like you said, some of our ministers, and they think that once they occupied that post, they had now a monopoly of knowledge. All the rest of us have done this.
Thank you so very much, Ed Alsubek, for coming on the program today. This is the Maritime and Border Show on 90.3 VOP Radio.
Thank you for having me.
My name is Dilio Tommy. Signing out with Francis Chilaka.
My name is Francis Chilaka.
Have yourself a wonderful weekend and the week ahead. Thank you.